Alright, what's going on everyone out there on YouTube? NES Ruler, and welcome to a brand new review. And this time around, I'll be checking out a film that was sent to me review by Utopia Films, and you can pick this up on Blu-ray at all your favorite online retailers. It is a film from the year 2022, and it is the Persian film Holy Spider. So this movie was on my radar when it came out theatrically early this year, late last year, but I just never got the chance to go out and check it out. I was familiar with this director's first two films, Shelley, which is a pretty interesting horror film, and this other film, Border, which is quite a quirky, weird film. If you guys haven't seen either of those films, I recommend you guys seek them out. They're both quite interesting. In particular, Border, I feel like nobody really talks about that film, and it's quite good. So I was kind of curious about this film, and mainly because of the story behind it. So basically, this film follows a story of a serial killer in Iran in the early 2000s who was going around and murdering prostitutes on the streets of Iran. And ultimately, he got captured, and he kind of got turned into a martyr a little bit with some of the men in society, because they saw him as a saving grace and cleaning the streets of filth by murdering these prostitutes who were most of the time drug addicts and things like that. So we follow this serial killer who ultimately got the name the Holy Spider serial killer. And the film jumps back and forth between his perspective and this reporter's perspective, this woman who is going around and reporting on all these murders that are occurring. It's really interesting narrative style, the way that it really does bounce between what her perspective is and then what his perspective is on the same thing. And how it plays out is really interesting. Is it the most original idea? No, I think Manhunter kind of plays this out where we kind of have a perspective of the killer as well as our protagonist at the same time, and it bounces back and forth. So it's not the most original idea, but I do appreciate a film where, it doesn't drag you along as who the killer is. I mean, we know who the killer is right off the bat, and the director tries to make you see in his eyes maybe what he was doing was right, but obviously it's not. He's murdering all these women for no particular reason, and he ended up doing this 16 times. Now, the reporter aspect of this film is completely fictional. That never happened. There was no reporter in real life who was reporting on these stories like this on this film. It was just fictionalized for this movie. But all the stuff that happens with the serial killer actually did happen. Now, this has some interesting things, commentary about, reporting in Iran and women's rights in Iran, and you put those together and how maybe women are treated in that country and how they should be given more opportunities and things like that. I feel like that's probably the one big message that this movie is trying to come across, is that anybody should have an open opportunity to do what they want to do, and particularly this woman who is trying to report in Iran. But overall, this is a heavy character piece. The film starts off a little bit dark and brutal, but as the film goes on, it turns into more of your average serial killer cat and mouse thriller. Everybody does a good job. It's well shot, well acted. Everybody does a fair enough shot in this movie. Like I said, it's not the most original or fascinating story, but I feel like it has enough going for it that if you guys like serial killer films, then you guys should probably try to seek this one out, because it comes from a place that maybe not a lot of people know about, in particular this serial killer and his story. So it is interesting in that sense. It's a brand new movie, so obviously looks fantastic, shot all in high def. When you come to these modern movies, it's kind of hard to do a bad job with your presentation unless you really try to. And then package wise, you have your Blu-ray in your clear case, your spine, and your back. Inside, you just have the Holy Spider symbol. So feature-wise, you have a few features on here. A lot of interviews and commentary tracks. So we have a Q&A with the director, a Q&A with some of the actors, Q&A with some of the writers, just a lot, and with the producers. So a lot of interviews, a lot of Q&As on this one. And then you have the theatrical trailer. So, this movie played at Cannes, so a lot of those interviews are from there and from the festival circuit that this movie played on. So, nothing like behind the scenes or anything like that. Just a bunch of Q&As and trailers, which is fine. I appreciate that. At least there's some stuff on here, so I give it credit there. But overall, Holy Spider, it was an interesting enough thriller, well made, well directed, well shot, well acted, all that jazz. So I can't knock it too bad, and I think I enjoyed the watch this one time. So that is my review of Holy Spider. If you guys like the review, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NESRuler22 and follow me on Letterboxd, letterboxd.com/NESRuler22. And I shall talk to you guys later. Thank you again for watching, and I shall see you guys.